Welcome to Tall Tips from Short Guys. This is episode number 4. I am Sean Scott.
I am Christopher Prado.
And that is Pasty P. Pearson Sturdivant. Thank you. He is our producer. The P does not stand for producer, although it could if he really wants it to.
No, the P stands for like
Pillsbury, obviously. Don't go there.
He's the palm. He's the palm.
The palm. He's the palm.
That's all I got. That's all I got, Pearson. Sorry.
If you have been watching / listening to our first few, we had a good introduction to who we are and our experience in certain fields. Amber, thank you so much for joining. We talked about empathy without action. We also talked about taking that first step in several different ways, and I think it's really important for people to listen to that in no particular order. Pick and choose what you want to hear. I think these are all great tips. So,
yes.
That being said, today we are going to focus on something that all of us could increase our IQ on.
Yes.
Which is relationships. And we're not talking, we're going to talk about all types of relationships.
I don't know, but I've had a lot of those recently.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can be a friendship. It could be a work relationship. It could be anything like that. It could be a relationship with your dog. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to have to bring this closer so I can read some of these comments here. You have a bigger audience than you think. 3 people are watching from my house. Thank you. Mark the Shark and Ben.
Yes.
If not more. Thank you so much, Eileen. It says you hopped off, and if that's true... Oh, you're back again. Okay, thank you. But we're talking about just relationships in general. I am coming from a place right now. I'm a year out of a marriage. It was not easy. And I have to take a lot of responsibility for what happened. And a lot of taking that first step that we talked about in the last episode is taking responsibility for things that I might not have done well in my marriage. I think to keep a romantic relationship alive, and this is just my tip, at least in the beginning of this. This is just
Sorry,
a tip.
ladies.
Is be doting, be affectionate, be what your partner needs you to be at that time.
You're right, Sean, but on the flip side, there's a but. There's always a but. Because the thing is I understand being doting, being loving, being attentive. Sometimes that's not well received.
Oh, I totally get that. And that's why I followed it up with be what they need you to be at that time.
Right.
Sometimes they need space.
I think the biggest thing for a lot of people is realizing that patience is, for me, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
For me, patience within a relationship is the key. Because I have been doting. I have been attentive. I have been on that edge of sweetheart, babe, love, what do you need?
Right.
But that's just the person that I am. But then it's either not reciprocated or not well received because of the perception behind it. It seems manipulative. And that's where it gets a little weird, is that some people don't realize that some people come from a point of love.
Right. And a lot of times I do have to mention this. You are sometimes in a romantic relationship what you have seen in a relationship. I came from my parents got divorced when I was 3 years old. Mm-hmm. I don't remember them together. And I only got to see certain things here and there from other relationships. You know, I'm not blaming myself or blaming my parents or anything for what I saw, but like being what you are, being a good salesperson, being a good father, being good at certain things comes from seeing those things being modeled in an appropriate way. At least that's my take on it. My dad, he was a fantastic, he still is. I don't want you to think that he's not here anymore. He's a great dad. And so that's what I try to do with my kids. I try and be the father that he was to me. I think that's super important.
That is key.
Modeling a good relationship is going to help people. Dennis, thank you so much for watching this. So many people have jumped on. We really appreciate all the attention we're getting early on in this endeavor. So,
I absolutely can appreciate that, Sean Scott.
Thank you.
The whole, modeling thing. But I'm still gonna be that devil's advocate. And say this.
Okay.
And say we teach people how we want to be treated.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
And my ex-fiance, okay, we were together for almost 9 years. My ex-fiance taught me that just a few days ago. She said, Christopher, we teach people how we want to be treated. And
Okay.
I didn't quite understand what she meant, but that means the lack of reciprocation or the reciprocation we get from somebody in a loving relationship or non-loving relationship and our acceptance of that reciprocation or lack of reciprocation
Right.
tells them how we are okay to be treated.
I like that. But it kind of goes to the communication that you may not have had when you were engaged. You know, you are now learning how she wanted to be treated or something to that effect.
I went to prison.
Then there's also that. I have... I didn't expect it to go that way. I got to tell you, it kind of threw me through a curveball. Because I have...
But that's the truth. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, she and I are in a very loving relationship as friends.
Good.
She's married. I love her husband. I love the relationship. We all love each other. Not like that. But there's an understanding. There's a maturity.
Right.
But relationships don't, like you say, always have to be romantic.
They don't. I mean, the next one I was going to bring up, and I'm glad you transitioned me to that, is a work relationship.
Yes.
There are work relationships. I have people a couple people right now from work that are watching, and I think work relationships are so important. Communication inside work relationships, most importantly, I think respect in work relationships.
Yes. Yeah.
Is by far one of the most important things in a working relationship is respect for the work that the other people are doing. Now, watching right now is my regional partner, Tina Murray. I was about to say Tina Williams, but she's recently married. Speaking of relationships, and congratulations on that.
Oh, congratulations, Tina.
But she and I and our field partner, Jane, work so well together because there's an absolute mutual respect for everything that we do, trusting that they are going to do the right thing.
Nice.
The foundation of this work relationship is the fact that there's a mutual respect and trust.
Trust is a big thing.
I wanted to throw that word out there because I knew you're going to grab onto it.
Thank you.
Now, the other person who's commenting right now, and I'm going to reach my big face onto this thing right here, and asked me to invite other people to the podcast, but the link doesn't go through to them. Eileen, if you just share this live video, that will be fine.
Shake it up, Eileen. Shake it up.
If you just want to share it, it will go out there. We're going to post the RSS feed on Facebook and on several other forms of social media. It'll be on Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts. It'll be everywhere. We just need some time to ramp that up. The production is handled by a pasty producer, Pearson.
Can we just call him Pearson Sturdivant?
I love the fact that he just goes by Pasty P.
I know, but Pasty P, man, this
Pearson
kid,
Sturdivant.
Okay, so, ladies, I'm going to tell you this much.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Talking
boy.
about relationships, aren't we?
Here it comes.
Pearson Sturdivant is the bomb diggity. I met this kid, and he's just done nothing but amaze me. So, on that note, ladies, you want to know who he is? Ask me.
Yes.
Take it away, Sean.
So we were going to talk about trust. We were talking about working relationships. Eileen Brumfield, who's watching right now, is one of the best managers I have ever worked with, and the reason is that she has trust in her team.
That's huge.
Trust in her team, and she lets them. She guides them to do what they need to do. She motivates them to do what they need to do. As that's what we're trying to do with everyone who's listening to this podcast and who's watching, is motivate you to just elevate yourself one step higher than what you are now to what you can be.
Yes.
And that's the work relationship side of this is trust and respect and all this, and just hang on to that.
Yeah.
Hang on to that. Just absorb these qualities.
And it will allow you to become a better version of the person you were just a moment ago.
Exactly. Friendships.
Yeah.
There are no better ships than friendships.
You're right.
I know it sounds corny, but
No, it's true, though.
but-
man. I've never heard that.
friendships
but
take
I'm not going to take
work.
that to the bank, but
Friendships take work. So to me, there's several different types of friendships. I mean, there's best friends, there's acquaintances, there's friends, there's Facebook friends, which is a totally different kind of thing too. When you think about it,
it's a big thing.
I mean, Facebook allows you to have 5,000 friends, and let me tell you, I think that there's something cool about that to get your message to a lot of people that you are acquainted with.
Sure.
But there is something totally disingenuous about having 5,000 friends because really, how many of them do you talk to?
Yeah, you go through your house cleaning of Facebook. And,
Someone just house cleaned me, a little while ago, and
Sons of bitches.
and that's fine,
Who were they? I'm gonna
we're
house
not
clean that
going to do
mofo.
that. We're not going to do that.
Okay.
because
my word counts.
But friendships, and I need to do a better job of this myself. Put me in coach.
But you know what,
Terry, what's up,
Sean
buddy?
Scott? I think everybody needs to be a better friend to people. That's the thing, and it kind of goes back to all of our previous episodes about empathy without action. Taking the next step, the first step. All of these things really come down to being a better person.
It really does.
All of them.
What up, wow, man? Mark the Shark, John Milliard, Terry Ayers, Katrina McDonald. This is so cool. I love all this. What I want to challenge people to do, because I feel like we've done this before. Look at this. There's like 10 live people on this.
What's up, babes? How you doing?
Bill McCulloch watching right now. What I want people to do is, in the vein of being a better friend and in the vein of friendships, everyone keeps sharing the link, Eileen. Thank you very much. We only have so much time on this. But that being said, in terms of being a better friend, reach out to your friends. If you're just friends on Facebook, send them a Facebook message. If you have them as a contact in your phone, send them a text message. Call people.
Can I say something though?
Yeah.
Just let me say something, guys. Make the call, reach out, do all these things, but do it without the intent of receiving anything.
Oh, totally true. Totally true.
Tell somebody you love them, give them a handshake, give them a hug, and really, really mean that. Because here's the thing: when you lead with love, you will get that back. You put 10 loves out there, you're going to get a couple back. Now,
and eventually you're going to get more.
Yeah, eventually. But there are so many people out there that are hurting.
Terry, these are tall tips, not short tips. They're from short guys. Tall tips from short guys.
Who's this Terry?
Terry Ayers is a fantastic real estate agent and insurance producer.
Absolutely.
And I think that's great. And John's saying all relationships need to be, walked intentionally. Don't let emotions take control, but be intentional in all relationships.
Absolutely.
Love
what was the name
that.
Of that person?
That's John Milliard.
John, thank you.
John, I have known for several years through coaching YMCA basketball.
Oh, that's okay.
So I realize that this is national and international. People are going to download this, but I love the personal touch that we have through Facebook and through other forms of social media.
Well, Sean, we're cutting it really close, and we're getting close to having to end this. I've got a lot of messages that we're not going to be able to get through.
Let's get through some of them now.
No, it's okay.
Oh,
we're okay because you know what? It brings upon our next subject that we were looking at. So,
what's the self-help topic?
The self-help,
yeah.
exactly.
So we are going to get to that on the next episode, and I'm very excited to talk about that. What I will say about, I want to jump into one more thing with the friendships that you had said.
Sure, go right ahead.
And I think being genuine is extraordinarily important. Building genuine relationships.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. Say again.
You son of a bitch. Building genuine relationships. I think you can't speak to how important it is to be genuine behind everything that you do. If you call someone, I'm going to call my mom later and tell her how much I love her. I'll call my dad and tell him how much I love him.
All joking aside, I know you mean that too.
But that's the thing, is that like when you call someone and you don't, and love is not, it doesn't have to be romantic. It's just, hey, brother, I love you. You know what I'm saying? It just, and meaning it. Yeah. And it's so, that type of connection, I can't tell you how good it makes people feel inside when people actually care to take a few moments out of their day to enrich a friendship, to enrich a relationship, to enrich, even at work. If I just took 10 seconds, which I'm going to do now, and send a quick instant message to my field partner or my boss or to my regional partner and just say, you're doing a great job and I really love working with you.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to set out a challenge to the people that listen and the people that want to spread this message out. I challenge you guys to hug somebody today. Just tell somebody you love them. Just try it. I guarantee you it's going to make you feel probably better than they felt.
And I challenge you not to grab their ass when you do it.
That's a good point. It's a good point. We don't want anybody getting arrested.
People, see, and Terry just says, hey, my friend, miss your face. This is someone who I've known for 20 years. This is like from 1999 when I started. This is good stuff. And John Milliard saying people chase authenticity, genuine in a world full of fake is so, so true.
Yes.
When literally a phrase that you hadn't heard in the vernacular as much as you have as fake news. You know what I'm saying? Yes. As much as that is now such a thing, being genuine and being authentic is so important. So the challenge has been laid out by Christopher and myself to, Terry, it's been 20 years. But the challenge has been laid out to be a better person, to enrich your friendships, to enrich your relationships. Mark the Shark with your amazing new Silverado K2. You and Eileen, you are so sweet to each other. You came to my stand-up comedy routine a little while ago at Laughs.
And they actually laughed?
I hope they did. I couldn't see anything because the lights were really bright and I'm really
that
short.
Sucks.
And I'm really
Stand-up
short.
Sucks,
so the house lights were really, really in my face. But I
you're
can't
good,
thank you enough, and I appreciate you for supporting what I do. We appreciate everyone who's watching and listening for supporting what we do.
Speaking of support, if there's anybody that has a business and you want to do some advertising, let us know.
Definitely.
Reach out to Sean Scott or myself, Christopher J. Prado, or Pearson Studevant.
And also Patreon. So Patreon, which is patreon.com/tall tips from short guys. We put this content out for free. If you want to support us, you can go to that patreon.com/tall tips from short guys. You can sponsor us on a personal level. It helps us to produce better content for you and to go out there and be the difference in the community that we want to be and the difference in the world that we want to be. So
love you guys.
We will talk about self-help the next time around. Thank you so much for joining us this time. For Christopher Prado, for Pearson Studevant, I'm Sean Scott. We'll see you next time on Tall Tips from Short Guys.